The whispers began as a tremor in the earth, a disquiet that settled upon the once peaceful valley nestled beneath the watchful gaze of the Franconia Mountains. The air, once crisp and vibrant with the melody of birdsong, grew heavy with an unspoken dread. It was a premonition, a shiver down the spine of the land itself, as if it sensed the approaching storm brewing in the hearts of men. Wonalanset, chieftain of the Penacooks, ruled with a gentle hand, his reign a golden age of prosperity. Yet, beneath the surface of this idyllic existence, a darkness festered. Rimmon, his sister-in-law, harbored a love for him as consuming as a forest fire. This love, a secret serpent coiling around her heart, poisoned her very soul. In the dead of night, under a sky choked with a million watchful stars, Rimmon took her own life, leaping from the precipice overlooking the churning waters of Amaskeag Falls. The valley plunged into an unnatural silence, broken only by the mournful cry of a lone loon. Wonalanset, burdened by the weight of grief, retreated inward, seeking solace in the whispers of the Great Spirit. His withdrawal, a subtle shift in the wind, was misinterpreted by those who harbored grudges old as the mountains themselves. The Mohawks, a tribe simmering with the embers of past conflicts, saw an opportunity. Led by Conassadin, a warrior whose face was a map of past battles and whose eyes held the glint of a hungry wolf, they plotted their revenge. Under the cloak of a moon, as black as a crow's wing, they descended upon the unsuspecting Penacooks. The night erupted in a cacophony of screams and the clash of steel. The once vibrant village became an inferno, the flames reflecting the savagery in the Mohawks' eyes. Wonalanset, far away on a spiritual quest, remained blissfully unaware of the carnage unfolding in his homeland. The Mohawks, fueled by a generations-old thirst for vengeance, left a trail of blood and smouldering ruins in their wake. When the Penacooks returned from their expedition, a scene from a nightmare awaited them. The air hung heavy with the acrid stench of smoke and death. Their beloved village lay in ruins, the charred remnants of their homes a testament to the barbarity they had endured. Grief, a suffocating shroud, descended upon them. The pursuit of the Mohawks became their sole purpose, a desperate race against time to avenge their fallen kin. Days bled into nights, a relentless chase through a treacherous landscape. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, exhaustion weighed heavily on their limbs, but the fire of vengeance burned bright in their hearts. The hunt led them deep into the heart of the Franconia Mountains, a labyrinth of towering peaks and treacherous valleys where the sunlight struggled to penetrate the dense canopy of ancient pines. Finally, in a clearing bathed in an eerie twilight, they found them. The Mohawks, weary but defiant, stood their ground. A battle ensued, a whirlwind of steel and fury. The warriors clashed with a primal intensity, their desperate screams echoing through the silent canyons. Yet, the Mohawks, driven by Conassadin's iron will, fought with the ferocity of cornered wolves. Just as the Penacooks began to falter, their strength waning, a figure emerged from the dense foliage. Conassadin, his face contorted in a feral snarl, charged towards them with unnatural speed. In his hand, he grasped a strange staff, its tip pulsating with an otherworldly light. With a guttural roar, he unleashed a torrent of energy that sent the Penacooks flying backwards. Panic seized them. They had underestimated the Mohawks' power, their thirst for vengeance fueled by something darker, something more sinister. As they scrambled to their feet, a deafening silence descended. The Mohawks stood frozen, their expressions a mask of terror. Then, the earth began to tremble. A crack ripped through the valley floor, growing wider with each shuddering groan of the mountain. The very air crackled with unseen energy. A blinding light erupted from the fissure, engulfing the clearing in an ethereal glow. When the light subsided, an unnatural stillness hung heavy in the air. Where the Mohawks once stood, a chilling tableau remained. Frozen in time, they were transformed into statues of granite, their contorted expressions a silent scream echoing their final moments of terror. Conassadin, his staff clattering to the ground, stood frozen mid-stride, his eyes wide with a horrifying realization. The Penacooks, trembling with a mixture of awe and terror, turned their gaze upwards. Carved into the very cliff face, bathed in the ethereal light of dawn, was a colossal visage, a face of granite etched with an expression of profound sorrow and unimaginable power. It was the Great Stone Face, a monument to the majesty and wrath of Manitou, the Great Spirit. A cold wind whispered through the valley, carrying with it the chilling echo of the voice that had boomed moments before. "You sought vengeance," the voice resonated, a cosmic tremor that seemed to shake the very foundations of the mountains. Blinded by rage, you strayed from the path of righteousness and stained these sacred grounds with needless bloodshed. You ignored the cries of your kin for the sake of an empty retribution. Now, you shall serve as a reminder of the consequences of your actions. The voice faded, leaving behind a profound silence. The Pennacuks, their hearts heavy with a newfound understanding, fell to their knees. The weight of their actions pressed down upon them, as crushing as the granite face that loomed above. Days turned into weeks, and the Pennacuks remained in the valley, haunted by the silent statues and the ever-present gaze of the Great Stone Face. One night, under a sky ablaze with 1,000,000 stars, a wizened elder named Matoka approached Wonalanset. His eyes, though clouded with age, held a wisdom born from years of communion with the spirits. Wonalanset. Matoka spoke, his voice a low rasp. "The Great Spirit has shown you his power. He has offered you a chance to atone for your transgressions. You must return to your people, rebuild your village, and live a life guided by peace and compassion. Let the Great Stone Face serve as a constant reminder of the darkness that can consume a heart filled with vengeance." Wonalanset, humbled by the elder's words and the weight of his responsibility, nodded solemnly. With heavy hearts, the Pennacuks left the valley, forever marked by the experience. They returned to their ravaged village, the memory of the Mohawks a constant reminder. They rebuilt their homes, not with anger, but with a newfound appreciation for life and the fragile peace they had taken for granted. Generations passed, and the legend of the Great Stone Face became a cornerstone of Pencook lore. It served as a cautionary tale, a chilling whisper on the wind that warned against the destructive power of vengeance. It reminded them that even the most hardened hearts could be turned to stone, a silent testament to the consequences of straying from the path of peace. And so, the Great Stone Face, a monument to both tragedy and redemption, continued to stand vigil over the valley, a silent guardian against the darkness that lurks within the hearts of men.